Okay, so the first thing I have to do, thank you.
Totally forgot. Totally didn't. I remembered not to do it and then forgot to do it.
So now yours is open. Okay, fine.
Yeah, well, we got it, so thank you. But there's something much more pressing on my mind.
Press it.
I have to issue a official Julie Starbird apology to Allie of the Slack and also the entire nation of Canada, our friendly neighbors to the north.
What'd you do to Canada?
What did you do?
I talked about the Sutherlands. I talked about Kiefer Sutherland being like, somebody said that Donald Sutherland felt like maybe he could be English or like from Europe. And I was like, but Kiefer is 100% American. And we talked about it. Turns out the Sutherlands are Canadian.
You see, that's where that Britishness comes from.
And I am so sorry, Canada. Please. And fun fact, their father Donald's father or grandfather started socialized medicine in Canada.
The Sutherlands are apparently awesome.
So they're the shit. And they're from
hey.
Canada. So I apologize to all Canadians. You guys are cool. You got the Sutherlands. You're cool.
Hey,
Okay, now I'm going to go right back in and insult Canada real quick because now I'm thinking like, well, then it's impossible for there to be such a thing as an anti-vaxxer in Canada because if a Sutherland offered me medicine, a free medicine, I will trust anything a Sutherland has set up for me to have.
I can't trust Kiefer 100%.
Kiefer is a little bit shady.
I just think of the Lost Boys.
Yeah, he's a little shady.
He was the asshole older brother in Stand By Me. Regardless.
Well, here's
Canada.
here's how we can make it up to Canada. Maybe we should take Justin Bieber.
Absolutely not. That trade that's a bad trade.
No. Mm-mm.
That doesn't make any business sense.
It's the only Canada reference I could do that made it sound like we were helping them out.
Welcome to Sick Burn Jane, a Pod Later podcast. I'm Julie.
I'm Amelia.
And that's Janine.
Hey.
Oh my God, you guys, guess what day it is? Keirafest wrap up.
Keira, this is the end of Volume 1 PP.
It is.
It is. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Unless a full PP wrap up gets planned, which I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
I mean, yeah.
Like Darcy off brackets. There's
true.
probably something for the whole PP as
that's
opposed to
right.
this
That's
PP.
right. Okay, so we're close to the end of
Very
this PP.
close.
It's a very long PP.
Well, I think that there are more adaptations of Pride and Prejudice than maybe any other Austen novel. So we're still going to have to keep coming back to PP because they're going to keep remaking it, and we're just going to have to keep, the rest of our lives, PP.
When PP breaks are a part of life.
Yes,
they are a part
PP.
of life. Yeah.
PP comes, PP goes.
It's really hard to give up the PP.
So, Keirafest. And 2005, right? I always forget what year it was.
Yeah.
Joe Wright's 2005, Pride and Prejudice, starring Keira Knightley, who is amazing. And my opinion of her has definitely gotten much higher after this experience. And is his name Matthew McFadden as Darcy?
I think so, yeah.
So wrapping it up, what do we want to talk about? I already apologized to Canada for the Sutherland gaffe.
Yeah, okay. Show's over. Bye.
Deuces.
I don't know. Are we doing scales at all for the rest
We
of
could
the
do
thing?
scale type
let's
situation. We could
scale.
do brief chats about each thing and then do the scales at the end. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do that.
Costume, golden butthole, a walk in the shade or whatever. What is it? The aspen turn?
Aspen
factor. Thank
Aspen
you.
factor.
Aspen factor. And then what was the other one? I can't remember. We may come up with it on our own.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
the costumes was 11s. That's what it was.
11s, yeah.
Boom.
Not as many. I loved the 11s in this one.
Mm-hmm.
With all the pun that could be. I really enjoy. I mean, we had a full episode on the costumes, didn't we? And I don't know, time is weird in this pandemic world we live in. But it was. I enjoyed it. It felt real.
It felt more real.
It felt very real.
Yeah, it felt gritty and more like real life. Yeah. So, and I think the costumes went a long way for that. So, on a scale of costumes, let's say, are we keeping it period, or can I roam free on the
Roam.
scale boundaries? Am I going to roam? Roam if I want to? Roam
Roam.
around the world? All right.
I mean, yeah, all roads lead to Rome. So
Oh, God damn it.
I'm-
Okay.
I'm
So-
top today.
Tip
Ish.
top, sir. All right, here we go. On a scale for costumes in Joe Wright's PP, on a scale of, it's terrible costumes are like, oh, fucking candid camera.
Okay.
On a scale of candid camera, which is just people, normal people wearing their own clothes, so
Yeah,
very
yeah.
boring, to, let's say, well, we had a little bit of technical difficulty there, and I know that you probably enjoyed either one song or another of our ineptitude. But what I realized is recently Amelia told me a story that involved yakety sax that I think deserves a wider audience. Amelia,
Thank you.
please.
I have been
I like
keeping
the
this a
song.
secret from
like
the
it.
Slack.
Oh,
I've been saving it for my next appearance. So thank you.
Pure gold.
Friends.
I can't wait.
Thank you so much. Friends, earlier this summer, my fiance and I ventured to the great city of Milwaukee. It was our first pandemic trip. We were going to go see the Giants play the Brewers because I'm marrying into a Giants family. And so now that's just a thing that I do. Great. Outdoor activity, fine. Surely we'll find beers out of doors in the great city of Milwaukee. The whole damn city is made out of beer. But
And
we
cheese.
had terrible, and cheese. Oh. So we had terrible weather. We rolled in. We stayed at the lovely Ambassador Hotel, vintage, probably haunted. Loved it. And we go into our room amidst the thunderstorm. Well, what will we do? I don't know. Well, have we been upgraded? Why is there a big ass jacuzzi in this room? It was shocking. It was surprising. We weren't mad. And also, we were afraid to go drink indoors. So instead, the emergency Sutter home that I put in my suitcase just in case of emergencies came out. And we thought, well, you know what? Let's just get in this jacuzzi, split this Sutter home, and just kind of see what happens. So we brought our books.
Oh my God, Aaron.
We had our
sorry, Janine.
books. It could have gotten sexy or it could have gotten literary. We'll never know. And here's why we'll never know. Well, you're not going to get in a jacuzzi and possibly get sexy in a quiet hotel room. So I pull out my phone. It needs a charge. It's across the hotel room, plugged in. I pick, what should I put on Spotify? One of those made-for-you playlists came up, which I hadn't previously vetted, but it was something like jazz. And it had Blossom Dearie and Chet Baker and friends that we like on this list. And I said, okay, fine. Thank you. Speakerphone. Get into the jacuzzi. Goodbye. Phone is now 300 feet away because this hotel room was weirdly gigantic. So we get a few songs in. There are some suds. There is some Sutter home. The tunes, they're just flowing and ooh, maybe it's going to be a spicy night in Milwaukee. Friends, on a playlist with Blossom Dearie, Chet Baker, other jazz greats. We had some Ella Fitzgerald in there. Everyone was crooning up a storm. The trumpets, they were muted, okay, in the best way. The drums were being played with the little brushes.
Yeah.
No snares were
the
being
brushes,
hit.
man.
Only brushes. It was sensual. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Please keep making that sound, Janine, until further notice. What could possibly come next? I'll tell you.
Yes! Fucking yakety sax.
Spotify.
Amelia.
Spotify put yakety sax on my jazz sex playlist
The
that an
betrayal.
AI generated.
Spotify can fuck off because
Oh.
that's terrible. Just kidding, love you,
fine.
Spotify.
Love you,
That was
Spotify,
fucking
but-
insane.
But
That's
also,
hilarious.
it's a little late for me to receive an abstinence education, but that would have been a great move if
know,
I
though,
were a younger lady.
I gotta say, that Spotify playlist knew you.
I did.
Knew that joke would land so well.
Yeah. Okay, this bitch. She loves April in Paris and also has listened to Yakety Sax in the past year. Let me just make her Friday night.
I just imagine like what it would feel like to be like in the midst of a passionate embrace in the hot tub and then just hear that. Oh my God. I would lose my just lose my shit. It would be worth it. I mean, it would be a bummer that you didn't get to bone down at that moment, but you can bone down some other time because now you have this memory and it is gold.
Could you imagine if you were like basically timed it where like, and okay, the tempo's picked up a bit. Oh God.
Oh my God. That's very evocative, Janine. Like I could feel it.
Oh,
That's so fun.
oh my goodness. That is a great story.
Oh my God, I'm so glad we got to share that with you as a result of our technical ineptitude.
Oh, wow.
Yes, thank you for
So-
making space for me.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was that's a legendary story and should be shared. So on a scale of candid camera, but like specifically like 1981 candid camera. Okay,
Yeah.
can you take your mind back to
Before
that?
people
Oh, yes,
started
girl.
like realizing they might be on candid camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
So candid camera on the low end to Sophia Coppola's Marie Antoinette on the high end.
Oh,
Where do you feel costumes for Joe Wright's PP land in there?
for me, it lands on another Carey Mulligan and Rosamund Pike joint, and education.
Ooh, I've never seen that. Tell me about it.
I love this movie. It's one of those movies where I like when I first started like being an adult and also like getting DVDs of movies was a thing you could just do. So like I think I'm a little biased because I was like, oh, I have like disposable income and I'm 20 and I saw this like beautiful movie that probably doesn't really hold up. But basically Carey Mulligan is a British teenager and one of the SARS guards. I cannot tell any SARS guards apart.
Me neither.
I do not understand. To me, the
They're all the
SARS
same.
guards are a monolith.
Yeah.
Pick a SARS guard, he's in it. An older man basically like tries to like seduces her, and it's like actually really problematic and terrible. It's based on a true story. I just read the book a
Ew.
few weeks ago. Slack me about it later if you want to talk about it. But it's like peak 60s fashion. Rosamund
Ooh,
Pike is the SARS guard's friend's girlfriend who like takes Carey Mulligan under her wing and is like, here's winged eyeliner, here's a bouffant, here is a fabulous capelet. But yeah, I feel like it's that pinnacle. And God knows I am no Emma Fraser. I would never dream. But I too it's that pinnacle of like period and lived in that is just so fucking delicious. So
Right.
so that's me. Fuck, now I want
And
to
it's
watch
called
education.
And education.
Mhm.
Okay. I like that about it being lived in because that's what we were saying is that the costumes are just so like real in
Yeah.
this movie. Yeah.
I don't have a good reference. I was just going to make a joke between the scales to say it's like Candid Marie Antoinette.
Well, we held on
Smile,
for that
you've
one.
got cake.
Yeah. Ah! That's awesome. Amelia, tip of the hat.
That was
Thank
good.
you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for me, between Candid Camera and Marie Antoinette, I've got to go with something. Oh, it's going to be something like, I got it. It's going to be something like The Big Chill or Ordinary People. Like one of those late 80s, early 90s, like Sex, Lies, and Videotape, where it's just like slice of life of like real people just living.
Oh,
That's what I'm going to
God.
say. One of those. I'm
Jesus.
gonna stick with The Big Chill on this
The
one.
Big Chill is such a
Think about the college sweatshirt, like when Kevin Kline comes jogging up the driveway. That's like because he goes out for jogs in the morning and he's so healthy, right?
Oh
It's like-
gosh.
Come
Out
on.
in that misty
never
southern area with like William Hurt saying, I'm going through a rough time, man. Well, listen,
yeah,
I can't
and
tell you
maybe
about it.
sleeping with a teenager or whatever.
Here's
Come
this
on.
insider
Speaking of teenagers
trading.
sleeping, yeah.
Such a white person movie. God,
Very
what a-
white person
What a
movie.
fun,
I've never seen it. I
It's
Oh my
good.
God.
I owned the soundtrack, so like I've seen it in my ears, but
I would
You
say,
know what? You kind of have.
You know what? Seeing what's fast. I think having the soundtrack to Big Chill and not seeing the movie is a little bit like listening to the soundtrack of the Mighty Ducks, but not seeing the movie, because that soundtrack for the Mighty Ducks is just Queen. It's basically just a Queen
Oh.
soundtrack. So for the Big Chill, it's basically just a Motown best hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
It's a
everybody
very
scores in both of those
on-
movies, right? So like,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody
well,
scores.
except
in
for
both.
Jeff
Everybody
Goldblum, because
scores.
he's
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum does not score.
no, because he is not a cool dude. Not a
No,
cool dude.
He
Not
does
a
not score.
not a cool dude.
wait,
No
I
one
can't
wants to be
remember
Jeff.
which of these movies Jeff Goldblum is in. Is he in The Big
Now
Chill?
it's both. Now he's in both.
You know what? He's in both now because we don't want to spoil the Big Chill for you anymore.
Flying V. Get a flying V.
A flying V.
Flying
Okay,
V. Oh,
Jeff
that,
Goldblum is
that was
invited
great.
to my flying V at any
The-
time.
You're on fire today, Buzzell. Damn.
It turns out Working Blue is the only wheelhouse I have anymore. So
Okay, so
Oh,
that's 11's is wrapped up. Get it?
yeah.
And then what do we want to do for the next one? Aspen Factor is the shady bit, right? Let's
Yeah.
do Aspen Factor.
Let's be yeah. I could deal with some shading.
Okay, so shadiness. Now, for the Aspen Factor, we've already talked about what we thought were the shady lines in the episode. So should it just be a scale for this one too?
Yeah, it's just to scale. I
Okay,
think
scale, just
this
scale.
this wrap up is just truly us leaning into the scales, living.
Okay,
living our
you know
best
what?
life.
I've already got it.
Yeah.
So, in the tradition of the candid camera choice for the 11's scale, I'm going to say for the Aspen Factor scales, we're going to go anywhere from Bob Ross,
Mm.
like on PBS,
Yeah.
like not the documentary,
No. Like
just actual Bob Ross,
Yeah.
painting happy little trees,
yeah.
because there is zero shade there, even though he is working with Aspen.
And when he
Right?
puts the shade in, it's with love.
That's loving shade. That's shade that keeps you from getting sunburned, as opposed to shade
That gives
I
you
don't need to tell
frostbite.
you you're ugly because you know you're ugly.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so from Bob Ross at the low end, because he's incapable of shade,
Mm.
all the way to, oh my God, I know I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but if any of you people have never seen the web series Posh Nosh, yes, Amelia, Posh Nosh is going to be up top. So let me just give a brief explanation of it so that you understand what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Richard E. Grant, who is amazing, and this other British comedian, I don't know her name. Oh God, they had a show, and I think it was on television in Britain, but here you can only get it on YouTube, and it's called Posh Nosh, and it's kind of like improv comedy, like cooking show or like lifestyle show, and they're married, and he is a like wealthy person, like he comes from a landed family and is like super posh, right? And she married in, and the way he talks to her sometimes is he just says something right over the top of her head that is just like the worst insult of all time, and she never gets it. It's so funny. So that's
think-
like the highest shade.
I think the first time I ever texted you, Julie, like one-on-one, was after you told me to watch Posh Nosh, and I was just beside myself and could not
It's so
contain
funny.
all of my feelings and just texted you all caps, Posh Nosh! So yeah.
That's what I
cannot-
screamed at him in the street after we saw him in My Fair Lady. He was crossing the street outside the Lyric Opera, and Scotty and I were walking away, and I went, there he is. And I turned around and I went, Posh Nosh! Posh Nosh! And
What
he
was-
stopped, and he tipped his hat to me and kind of bowed and then kept walking. It was amazing.
Also, his wife died last week, so let's all.
Oh my God.
Oh.
All right,
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant, I'm so sorry. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone pour one out in your
Cheers.
soul. Yeah, cheers.
Richard E. Grant, you're the best. Posh Nosh.
Posh Nosh.
Can you ever forgive me? If none of you have seen that, you should watch it.
Oh, so good.
I wonder if how common that yelling, that particular call
No
out
one.
is.
No one is yelling Posh Nosh at Richard E. Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
'Cause,
a
like,
no
singular
one.
starboard moment.
Because Brad Pitt gets what's in the box, I'm sure. Like people yell that at him every now and then.
Yeah, he gets what's in the box.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis gets I See Dead People.
I see dead people. Yeah.
Right.
Or yippee ki motherfucker.
Yeah, oh, you know what? I would do Yippee Ki
Yeah.
I probably would.
Yeah. But Posh Nosh, that's good. That's a deep
That's
cut.
great, Posh Nosh. Okay, so between Bob Ross and Posh Nosh, I didn't mean for them to rhyme. Bars.
That was good.
Where is your Aspen factor? So thinking of the entirety of Joe Wright's PP. shade.
Mm.
Well, the thing with this PP is that Catherine Bingley and Wickham are both kind of neutralized.
Yeah, like
And
that's where
Catherine Bingley is a lot of the shade. I mean, we still have Lady Catherine de Bourgh, so maybe that's where we want to go with it.
yeah, but that's more like shade in a trench because of the dench.
What? Amazing. You know what? That's it. This category is closed.
Well,
Unless you have something that's better than
It's
dench in a trench, then
it's not.
I can't do anything.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, I don't even want to do any more scales. We are
So-
like fucking. It's like T-ball
We're
over
killing
here.
it. We're
Jesus.
killing It's because we were so mortified about not being able to get it together at the beginning, and I can't wait to edit this episode because I'm just gonna make it fucking hilarious.
I can't wait.
It's already hilarious. I'm gonna bump it up a little.
Yeah.
You're gonna
All right.
freaking bite me like I'm on The Bachelor, and you're gonna make me say wild
No.
things.
Yes. Hold on. Like that. So
Okay.
Aspen Factor shut down. That
Yeah.
category is closed. So then what was the other? We've done costumes. We did Aspen Factor, butthole,
Golden Butthole.
butthole.
I mean, do we even need a scale? Because we know who the golden butthole is. Are we just giving a golden butthole?
We're
giving a golden
like the balance of golden butthole in Joe Wright's PP. Did it
Okay.
feel as buttholey as other PPs? Right, we're judging the whole piece.
butthole. You know, I don't feel like it was butt holier than thou. You know, like it.
You just slid that one right in there. Pretty good. Pretty good. Jasper is not impressed.
He's like, just like, it's like, "God, guys, I live with this. I live with this every
Listener
day.
is
all
very
day."
mortified by his dad. Yeah.
No, but I feel like,
I think it's the same thing. Caroline
same
Bingley
thing.
and Wickham are like fucking neutralized, so it's not. I mean, Lydia's still a butthole. Maybe Lydia is kind of more of a gross butthole in this one. Maybe she's
Yeah.
a little bit grainier or like terrible. Like we talked about fucking kicking her into a ditch, right? Because you just hate her.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm sure you talked about this, and I'm sure I've listened to you talk about this, but I didn't take notes, and therefore here I am. But yeah, I think like the miniseries Lydia just doesn't seem self-aware at all, and so like that's why she's so maddening. But then like Jenna Malone fucking knows what she's
She
up
knows
to.
what she's doing,
yeah.
and that makes her more detestable and
It's
just like
so.
ugh. And then also the edge is taken off Mrs. Bennett in this one too.
Yeah.
Because Hang
Because-
Kitty.
Yeah, there's no Hank Kitty. She is. They make her more of a real person than a caricature that she can't be seen as. And also, they give her a couple of moments with Mr. Bennett that she never gets in any of the other adaptations, where you
Yeah.
can see that they love each other, even if they don't really like each other. There is a mutual kind of love there.
Yeah.
Maybe not admiration, maybe not respect, but they love each other.
Yeah.
They
And
used
you don't
to
get
go
to
in
see
the
that a lot.
jacuzzi at Longbourn, but or rather, what would be like the old time? It'd be like more like harpsichord, like.
So yeah, it's less buttholy and less shady.
Yeah, that's interesting that for us to realize. But Lydia, if someone's going to get the golden butthole, it'd be Jenna Malone.
Oh yeah, in this one, it's definitely Lydia is the winner.
Yeah, Lydia's somewhere in that one.
But
Honorable
if we were putting the
mention-
no, go ahead.
Oh,
You.
honorable mention, butthole wise, there is Tom Collins. His last name is Tom. What's Mr. Collins in this one? The
Tom
actor's name.
Hiddleston, not
I don't know.
Our Mr. Collins in this edition of Pride and
keep
Prejudice.
talking.
There is a word of his that every time I see this object in real life, his voice is clear as a bell. And that word, which I will not say as well as he does it all, is potatoes. When he
What did
asks
you- say
about
it
the
again?
fine boiled potatoes.
Potatoes.
The way he says potatoes when asking which of his cousins have prepared the fine boiled ones Literally every time I see a potato. This is not a drill.
You like it's
Tom Hollander.
Tom
Hollander.
That's right, because I kept confusing him with Tom Holland, and that's not Tom Holland.
Those are two different people.
Those are two different people.
Really?
Tom Holland
Nice.
is Spider-Man.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with superhero movies. So I don't.
He's a little kid. He's very much younger.
You don't
He's
fuck with
like
Ben
he's
Jim?
probably in his early 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah,
maybe by now.
he is a child who's very, very funny.
And great physical actor too. So you know what? He would make a really good. Maybe in about 10 years, he would make
he
an
will make
excellent
a really
Mr.
good
Collins.
They're gonna revisit this movie at some point.
He would be very, very good in that part.
I bet. Ooh, I want to make a long-term bet. I think
Do it.
I think he'll play Collins at some point in his career.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh man, I think we all agree on this though. Unfortunately, but
Yeah,
because
because he's not a Darcy. He could be a Bingley. Maybe.
He could be a Bingley, but
I think he's got too much. He's got too much jizz to be Bingley.
Does he have
I
enough
don't-
jizz to be Wickham?
No, I just don't see him doing.
No.
Okay.
That's not his role.
No.
Collins is it.
Collins would be it. And at the end of his career, when he's a much, much older man, so decades from now, he could play Mr. Bennett, I think.
Yeah, I think he'd be a pretty good
pull
Mr. Bennett.
that off. I think he'd pull that off.
All right, so like as a general property, is this PP more buttholey or less buttholey than other PPs? I say less. So
Less.
on
I
my
say less.
scale, on my scale from Bob Ross to Poshnosh.
That'd be Aspen Factor, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't do. We need a
didn't
scale
really-
for buttholes.
We didn't really get to the scale for buttholes.
God damn it.
Because
All right, well, let's continue. I'm going to keep going here.
Okay.
I'm going to go for the lowest butthole. Press your luck. The guy who videotaped 300 hours of Press Your Luck in the 80s and figured out how to game the little system. Maybe he's the high butthole in this one.
I don't know.
And then got on the show and like won all the money, and they had to stop the game show because he figured out how to judge the timing of the whammies.
Yeah, that's gonna go with a high butthole.
That's a big high butthole.
yeah,
Okay, and
he
then
took
a
away
lower.
joy from other people. That's a
He
butthole
did
move. Yeah.
because I love the whammy dance. Okay, and so low butthole. I don't want to stay with let's just go with Mr. Rogers and that PBS theme.
Mr. Rogers, man, never a butthole. Have you read
The
his books?
anti-butthole.
His
I
books
want.
are-
I need to see that documentary, but I know it's going to make me ugly cry. So I have.
Oh,
I have a couple of his books I'll lend you that I love. They've helped me figure out how to talk and deal. Deal sounds like a really negative word. Talk and think about my nieces and nephew and like how can I be this distant figure for them. I really love.
That's nice.
I love his books. They're so good.
And now on to buttholes.
And now on the buttholes. How do I do this,
I think
Mr. Rogers?
go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I think my scale is when someone who, especially someone who perhaps grew up in the South, it's particularly devastating. My butthole scale here is when someone says "bless your heart" and you realize it means "fuck you."
Mm.
That's kind of higher on the butthole scale, but not press your luck, guy. Somewhere
Yes.
in the middle. But
That's
it's on the higher end.
It's a little bit like a crop duster, right? Where like
Yeah.
someone
Mhm.
farted, but you didn't really know, but then you did, and you went like, "Man, that was
And
not
they said that to
cool."
me, and it either hits you right in the moment that grandma says it to you, or it hits you 3 hours later, and you're
Yeah.
like, "What the?" You're right. Crop dusting isn't a very apt metaphor.
Yeah.
All right, for me, buttholes. I don't think that this movie was very buttholey, but it was definitely more buttholey than Mr. Rogers. So I got to come up with something. I'm gonna give it Schitt's Creek butthole.
Schitt's Creek butthole's a good one.
Because there are buttholes and they are very clearly on display, but overall they're kind of neutralized and just kind of ignored, or like not ignored. It's not as important to the story as the buttholes have been in other adaptations.
Mhm.
Then I'm going my off of this note that you that's I think is very good. That's a good rating. I'm actually going to choose a book called Everybody Poops.
Yes! Everybody Poops is not a butthole, hilariously, because Everybody Poops is helping a lot of little kids who have problems with the toilet.
And I think it's just a really good acknowledgement that we all have buttholes.
Everybody's got one.
we're all a little bit like a butthole sometimes. We all poop.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah, and we should just confront that. Confront how butthole-ish we are.
Okay, so that's the butthole scale.
That was good.
And then, did we give a name to the best actor or the acting or whatever for the Jane Austen stuff?
I don't know.
Hand flex? Oh, hand
Oh,
flex
do
moment.
hand flex. Yeah.
Hand flex. Well, how do we
So,
do that? This is the hand
this
flex.
is the hand flex, so it's the ultimate. We don't even have to have a scale. This is number one. It
Yeah.
is the scale. This is the scale of hand flex.
Yeah.
We're in an Ouroboros. We're eating our own tail, and it's done. It's
Yeah,
the one.
done.
It's the only.
It is. Like, you
Mhm.
can't rate against any other hand flex when you are the hand flex.
The hand flex.
God,
So,
I didn't
top
take
notch.
didn't take a gummy today, but feels like I did.
Yep. Time is a flat circle.
What?
All right. So, hand flex. Wasn't there something about acting? Didn't we come up with?
I don't think we did.
Okay.
We had a golden
We could.
pamplemousse, the golden and platinum pamplemousse ones that we had from Outlander.
Well, were we keeping the pamplemousse, or did we come up with an Austin specific
remember.
one? See, I never remember this shit because I just hang out with y'all and talk, and that's fun, and then I forget everything.
Yeah,
Ooh,
same.
let's call it. Okay, not to flip the script at the end of the series, as it were. Not that Sick Burn Jane is going anywhere. Everything is fine.
Just the volume. Don't freak out, people. Chill.
Don't freak out. Don't
Yeah.
freak out. But I'm thinking about, like, wasn't it this around the time when a pineapple was a really huge deal?
Yes.
And, like, there was the pineapple decor, and if you had an actual pineapple, even bigger deal. And that's why there's a lot of, like, carved pineapples on, like, woodwork and shit.
That
That
a
is
thing?
very
Do
true.
we-
Yes.
If we're doing
Huh.
a Regency golden pamplemousse, what if we do, like, a golden pineapple?
Perfect.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, sure. I'm into it.
Um,
Should we call it the ivory pineapple, given the times?
Oh, God.
Mm,
Those poor
I like
elephants.
golden.
Okay.
I prefer golden. Are you
Okay.
just being a dick about the ivory tower thing? He is.
It was a half dickish thing, but also like they killed a lot
But
of
it's an
elephants.
eye roll medium. They can't see that Zoom joke you just made.
I know, but they also killed a lot of elephants at the time for ivory shit.
They did.
Yeah. No golden. We'll stick with golden.
Golden.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not-
gold mining has never been problematic. So everything
Yeah.
is
That's true too. Listen, hey, we're just we're just strip mining Africa left and right in the Regency,
Killing
and
it.
continually. So look at us, yay!
Yay.
God, the world's great.
Yay.
I'm smiling through my tears.
All right. So golden pineapple,
Golden
Joe Wright's
pineapple.
PP. Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley.
It's Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley was an honorable mention to the actress who played Charlotte,
Oh, yeah.
because that scene
What
was
is that
Christy-
woman's name? Because
Christy Blakely.
yeah.
Christy
Because-
Blakely. One of those.
I'm going to look it up to make sure we put some respect on that name because that
Well-
Charlotte scene was
It
definitely
was so
the
good.
best.
God, so good. I've seen TikToks using that audio, and it's just like
Claudie Blakely.
Claudie Blakely. Claudie
Mhm.
Blakely.
Blakely.
Claudie.
Thank you,
Blakely.
Claudie Blakely, for the best Charlotte Lucas that I think we'll ever see.
It was really good.
So
So good.
that is an honorable mention. I don't think we can give her the pineapple.
No.
But she's
Keira-
right close.
Keira gets the pineapple, especially considering. I mean, you reminded me a few times during this process that she was so young,
She was very young.
very young at that moment, and she just fucking knocked it out of the park.
killed
She's
it.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's it. There
That's
weren't any
it.
other scales. Wasn't there something about Turnabout the Room, but I don't even know what that was.
I don't know what Turnabout the Room was.
Mm-mm. And I
Well-
didn't bring my fan today to make fan noises, so
Oh well, hold on a second.
you got a little
Yeah,
something.
mine's far away.
Mm-hmm.
I have the massive one.
Oh, the Katya one, yeah.
Hold on,
Yes.
sorry, I don't want to
Yeah.
fucking like destroy my mic.
Yeah,
Yes.
So loud.
that's an excellent thwarp. So that's the thwarp on the end of Joe Wright's PP. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
I mean, this movie held up in my brain. Like it was the movie that I'm fairly certain this is the movie where I developed my massive crush on Keira Knightley. Though Love Actually might have been it as far as a garbage movie goes. It's just so well shot. Every aspect of this movie is so beautiful and well timed, and like even though it feels like a mad dash for a Pride and Prejudice,
Mm-hmm.
because it happens. There's so much that happens in a couple hours. It's so good. They did such a good job.
Cool. Amelia?
Yeah, I feel like, in listening to Sick Burn Jane as it has grown. By the way, according to the timeline on Libsyn, so not when you actually recorded, but you know what's happening in 11 days?
What?
It's the anniversary of Sick Burn Jane. You did.
No
No
way.
shit.
You dropped your first episode
Pride
of
and
this.
Prejudice.
Yeah.
Wow, we've been doing this for a
On
year?
October 7th, 2020.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so something that
God.
I have been coming around to, especially now that we talked about the 2005. I say we as if I've been here.
You've been here.
You've been here. You've been here.
It's a parasocial relationship sometimes, and that's fine. But I think kind of in the same way that like people shitting on Jane Austen as if like she wasn't good at her job and like what didn't have like actual poignant things to say. I feel like even within this framework of Jane Austen is the shit, talking shit about the 2005 Pride and Prejudice is still kind of with like it's still like in the water.
Yeah.
Even if you love Jane Austen. And
I
so,
was
like,
guilty.
Yeah.
I did.
So like I feel like I've been reckoning with like, you know, internalized misogyny of just like, oh shit, no, like even the 2005 version is a delight. And like, why did I go into it again with the mindset of like, oh, well, here's this crappy movie that I used to like when I was in high school. So like, also I've used the word shit in so many different inflections that good
It's been
God.
It's been a different word each time.
Yeah, every time. But yeah, I'm really, I am in a sense grateful to have this opportunity to revisit 2005 just because it is just so lovely. And I want to paint my house in the colors of Langburn, like immediately. Longburn, sorry. Yeah,
Yep.
like immediately.
Well,
So-
my final thought is very similar, except I'd never seen it before because I was so invested in the 1995 A&E BBC PP Nemesis that I was very resistant to this one, as people who listen to Sick Burn Jane will remember. And I was very pleasantly surprised. It's very good. The first half is a little whatever, but that second half is off to the races and amazing. The pace. Also, Aaron's right. Like the cinematography, the camera shots, the lighting, the costumes, just the way the movie feels is really beautiful. I have to admit, I was completely wrong. This movie is very good. And so I wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone who has never seen it. But if you've never seen it, why the fuck are you listening to this podcast? Maybe
like
you
we're
need to
funny, but we're
consider
not that funny. Go
Like,
watch
did you
some
them.
life
really-
choices.
You really needed us to talk about this for 3 episodes.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all we've got to say today. Thanks, Amelia, for stepping in.
Thanks.
It was so fun. That's the end of the PP coverage for now. We'll probably have one final wrap up. That's my guess.
Yeah,
Of the
but
whole
then-
thing.
And then we're moving on to Emma.
And then we're moving on to Emma, Sick Burn Jane Emma, which will be really good for the sick burns.
Good God.
Yeah. So that's it for now. We're going to cut out and do all the thank you stuff in a separate file so it doesn't bore Amelia. So thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Hi, friends. Allison here. I want to thank Amelia and Aaron and Julie for... Who's Aaron? I want to thank Amelia and Janine and Julie for holding down the fort this week. I have no idea what they said, so you know more about this episode than I do, and let's just hope they didn't talk trash about me for 2 hours straight, or this is going to be really embarrassing. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/PodlanderDrunkcast. What? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/PodlanderCast. You can find us on Twitter at PodlanderCast. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/PodlanderDrunkcast, where you can support the show, join the Slack, bonus episodes, early access, all kinds of fun things. We want to thank all of our patrons who make it possible for us to do this show, which is not cheap, but we especially want to thank the following wonderful people. Here we go. Jess Bree, Catspaw156, Maddie Perkins, Snazinach, Lisa Brienne, Julia Gulia, Kathleen Martini, Lauren Tennant, Kelsey Kemp, Madison Johnson, Emily Day, Betsy English, Caitlin Reddick, Ashley Tegason, Kristen, Freckled Fury, Laura Culm, Amelia Buzzell, Liz and Tinkerbell, Stella Welch, Tori Halligan, Claire Feeney, Rochelle Lefevre, Heather Robbins, Jerry Hurdle, Emily Carlson, Amy Gustafson, Rachel Townsend, Steph Peterson, Kelly Mazzella, Chantel Salters, Mary the Falling Statue, Tara Lucchino, Viv Pickles, a.k.a. Laura, Mary of the Grapefruit, Jenna Polkowski, Ann Gibson, Ruth McCormick, Kara Marlowe, Tris McCrary, Julie DeToit, Jen Lynn, Kelly Bodden, and Amanda Newton, and of course, Kiki the Wise. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you to all of you for listening. We will be back next week with something? Emma? Fanfic? I don't remember. Who knows? You know more than I do. Bye.